You're not the one writing the code, but your work decides what the developers will build. You're not the one designing the marketing campaign, but your research helps the marketing team decide where to spend their budget. This is the power of a business analyst. In this business analyst roadmap for 2025, I am going to walk you through everything you need to know to become a successful BA step by step. We will start with the foundation of business analysts, then move into business analysis planning and monitoring. After that, we will explore requirement elicitation, learn how to analyze and document requirements, understand solutions, validations, and finally cover data analysis tools like Excel, SQL, Tableau, and Power BI. And of course, we'll talk about one of the most important skills for a business analyst, communication and stakeholder management. So let's get started. Step 1, foundation of a business analysis. Before jumping into tools or techniques, it is important to understand what a business analyst actually does. At its core, a business analyst acts as a bridge between business stakeholders and the technical team. Their job is to translate business needs into clear, actionable requirements that developers and product team can actually build. To build this foundation, you first need to understand how businesses work. Every organization, whether it is in finance, healthcare, retail, or technology, has different structures, processes, and goals. As a BA, you need to understand how departments like sales, marketing, operations, and finance interact with each other. Business analysis never happen in isolation. Every decision impacts multiple parts of the organization. You will also come across the BACCM framework, which stands for Business Analysis Core Concept Model. This framework introduces 6 key concepts: change, need, solution, stakeholder, value, and context. These 6 concepts explain how a business problem eventually turns into a real solution. At this stage, you should also understand different project methodologies, mainly waterfall and agile. Waterfall follows a structured sequence where one stage must finish before the next stage begins. Agile, on the other hand, is more flexible and works in short cycles with continuous feedback. It is an iterative and incremental approach. Understanding both models will help you adapt to different organizations and projects. Next comes step 2, business analysis, planning and monitoring. Once you understand the role of a business analyst, the next step is learning how to plan and monitor your work effectively. In many situations, the business problem is not clearly presented. Sometimes you have to observe the patterns, ask the right set of questions, make the correct decisions, and discover the real problem yourself. Another important part of this stage is identifying stakeholders. Stakeholders are anyone who is affected by the project or has influence over it. This could include executives, product managers, developers, marketing team, and even customers. So as a business analyst, you need to understand their interest, expectation, and level of involvement. You will also use planning tools like RACI matrix, risk assessment frameworks, and agile boards such as Kanban or Scrum. At this stage, many analysts start using tools like Jira to manage agile projects, track tasks, create user stories, and monitor sprint progress. Next comes step 3, requirement elicitation. Requirement elicitation is one of the most important skills for a business analyst. This is where You gather information from different stakeholders to understand what the business actually needs. To do this effectively, you need to ask insightful questions and collect information from multiple sources. Some common techniques include one-on-one interviews, workshops, surveys, questionnaires, observation, and document analysis. Interviews help you get deep insights from stakeholders. Workshops allow team to collaborate and share ideas. Surveys are useful when you need feedback from a large group. Observations is also very powerful. Sometimes simply watching how users interact with the system reveals problems that people don't even realize exist. But gathering information is not enough. You must validate the requirement and confirm them with stakeholders to ensure everybody is aligned and get their sign off. Next come requirement analysis and documentation. Once you gather the requirement, the next step is to analyze and organize them properly. Requirements generally fall into four major categories. Business requirement, which first is business requirement, which defines the high level goals of the organization. Second is stakeholder requirement, which capture the need of specific user, teams, or department. Third are solution requirement, which describe the functionality and performance of a system, that what system must deliver. And finally, transition requirements, which help the organization move from the old system to a new smoothly. So to document these requirements clearly, business analysts use tools like user stories, use case diagram, and requirement traceability matrices, also known as RTM. The RTM helps track every requirement and connect it back to the business objective, so nothing should get missed. At this stage, it is also helpful to follow a BABOK guide, the Business Analysis Book of Knowledge, which is a global standard for business analysis practice. You may also use UML diagrams such as activity diagram, class diagram, and sequence diagram to visually represent system processes and workflows. So next come is assessing and validating solutions. After the solution is developed, the business analyst must evaluate whether it actually solves a business problem. This begins with feasibility analysis. You ask questions like, is the solution affordable? Will employees be able to use it easily? Can it integrate with existing systems? You may also conduct feasibility studies to compare multiple options and determine the best path followed. Several techniques help evaluate solutions, including gap analysis, SWOT analysis, and cost-benefit analysis. Gap analysis identifies missing capabilities. SWOT analysis evaluates strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. Cost-benefit analysis determines whether the benefits justify the cost of implementation. Another critical stage is user acceptance testing, or UAT testing. This is where real users test the system in real world scenarios to ensure the work is expected. Feedback from UAT helps the development team make fine adjustment before the solution is fully deployed. So next comes our building data analysis skills. In today's data-driven world, business analysts also need basic data analysis skills. You should understand both structured data like spreadsheet and database, and unstructured data like emails, feedback, social media content. You'll learn how to clean data, analyze patterns, and extract insight that support better business decisions in my course here. Some analysts also pursue certifications like IIBA certification, which is a CBAP certification, if they want to pursue that as well. Next comes as Excel for BA. Even with advanced tools available, Excel remains one of the most widely used tools for business analysis. You should know how to clean, organize raw data, use formulas like VLOOKUP, index match, and create pivot tables to summarize large data sets. Excel can also be used to build simple dashboard and reports that make insights easier for stakeholders to understand. Next is SQL for data analysis. Another key skill is SQL or structured query language. SQL allows you to interact directly with databases and retrieve specific information. You should start with basic commands like select, where, and group by, and then move to more advanced concepts like join, subqueries, and aggregation functions such as sum, count, and average. SQL helps BA extract exactly the data they need to support the business decisions. Next comes as data visualization. Once you have analyzed the data, the next step is to present it in a clear and meaningful way. Tools like Power BI and Tableau help you transform raw data into interactive dashboards and visual reports. These tools allow you to create charts, graphs, maps, and visual summaries that make it easier for stakeholders to understand the insight and take action. Last but not the least, communication and stakeholder management. Finally, one of the most critical skills for a BA is communication. Business analysts often act as our translators between tech team and business stakeholders. You must be able to explain technical concepts in a simple business language that ensures that everyone stays aligned. This involves identifying stakeholders, analyzing their level of influence using the tools like Power Interest Grid, and maintaining a stakeholder register. You'll also create a stakeholder communication plan which outlines how frequently updates will be shared, through which channels, and in which format. Strong communication builds trust, resolves conflicts, and ensures the project moves forward smoothly. And that's the complete BA roadmap for 2025 that I'll be covering in my channel day by day, every day. Honestly, it'll be a very easy learning, a simple layman learning in IT or a non-IT. Anybody can learn and put their shoes into a BA career. So if you follow these steps, building strong foundation, mastering requirements, learning data tools, and developing communication skills that are you can confidently start your journey as a BA. So stay tuned.